Hey there everybody, welcome to the video. So in today's video, we're actually going to kick off a new series. So this is going to be part one, where I am going to go through all of the stages of building a fantasy terrain setup. Now, I have a couple of other terrain setups, such as my Infinity terrain. I've also got a couple of 10mm scale sci-fi boards for Drop Zone Commander and Legions Imperialis, and also Epic Warpath. But I didn't really have anything for my fantasy games, especially my skirmish games. So I was hunting around, kind of looking to see, what could fit most of the games that I play and that I have miniatures for. And I settled on TTCombat again. So TTCombat, I've used their terrain, both MDF and Papercraft, in the past for a lot of my other builds. And I just find that when you're looking for good quality MDF terrain and Papercraft terrain, they typically have the most options and very, very competitive prices. Now, I settled on specifically their Streets of Venice range, because not only does this work for your fantasy games, it also kind of works for some historical games, especially things like Bolt Action, or, if you want to get weird, World War II, Conflict 47, because it's modeled after the city of Venice, which even to this day, you can see a lot of that old world architecture still in place. And in fact, you could even use this for some modern skirmish games. So if you were playing like Spectre Operations, where, it's literally modern day Spec Ops teams, this would be a great board for you. Now, the terrain system, the thing that makes it really interesting is that it's modeled after Venice. So you're going to have canals running through your table setup. So you're meant to have a water mat down on your table, and then you have these raised city streets where you can plan out your street layout and also your canal layouts just by having voids in your streets, and then buildings, of course, to sit on top of those raised platforms. So I've got a mix of kits that I've actually been collecting for a couple of years now, planning for this project. So we've got a lot of Papercraft buildings. We've got a few of their new Chroma buildings, which are really nice. They come pre-painted and sealed, so all you have to do is cut them out and glue them together, and you've got a great looking piece of terrain in no time at all. And then we've also got some bare MDF buildings and ruins and scatter as well. So in this video, in part one, I'm going to walk you through how I'm building the MDF kits. And specifically, we're going to focus in on those streets and those Chroma buildings for now, but I'll show you how I get them assembled and kind of walk through that whole process. All right, so actually, before we dive in, a very quick word on sourcing the kits. So if you're in the UK, TTCombat is a UK company, or if you're in Europe, they have distribution over there already set up. So the kits are actually widely available. Now here in the US, I'm not aware of any major distribution that they have. However, the game stores where I was able to find it online, so there's Game Castle, which if you're in the Bay Area of California, they actually have a lot of this terrain in stock in their shop. There's also Kick-Ass Mail Order by Adventure Games. They have almost the entire TTCombat product line. If you're into Drop Fleet or Drop Zone, Rumble Slam, like all of the games, all of the terrain, they have everything. And then Valhalla Hobby, which is in the Midwest somewhere. Their exact location is escaping me, but they carry a lot of the TTCombat products as well, including a lot of the terrain kits. Oh, and one last company, Noble Knight Games. If you're ever looking for anything obscure, they may not have the best prices, but they're almost always guaranteed to have it in stock. As far as pricing goes, I tend to find that Valhalla and Kick-Ass Mail Order typically have the best prices on the kits. And then lastly, typically during the holiday season at the end of the year around Christmas, TTCombat will put together what they call white box bundles, where they will bundle a bunch of their MDF kits into a discount box. And sometimes it can make sense to buy direct from them, even, with the possible shipping cost if you're grabbing one of those bundle boxes. Now, they did not do this for 2025 Christmas, which I strongly suspect is because most of their teams are heads down working on their Strike Team Commander Kickstarter, getting that fulfillment and everything going, and they're designing a ton of terrain for that system. So I'm kind of thinking that's probably why we didn't see them in 2025, but I would expect that we would probably see them return once things kind of get back to normal for their teams. Now, some of those past white boxes, you can actually still find those on, I've seen them a lot on Noble Knight as well as Valhalla Hobby. So if you can grab one of those white box bundles, it's actually a great deal for your money. All right, so let's get started. Now, when you crack these kits open, you'll see that there aren't any instructions included, and that's because all of the instructions are available digitally. So there will be this little insert that has a little QR code. You just scan that with your phone and it'll take you directly to the PDF instructions. And I will put an image of one of the files up on the screen right now. They are very easy to follow, but it is all pictorial diagrams. So none of the frames are numbered or anything like that. It is a little bit kind of like putting together a puzzle, but it's not that bad, especially for these Venice kits. I know some of their sci-fi kits can get really, really intricate from what I've seen, but these are very, very simple shapes, and typically you can just go ahead and look at the instructions, see what couple of pieces you need for that step, find them very quickly, and then cut them out of the frames. Now, there was a very popular video done by Midwinter Minis when they first came out with the Chroma terrain for their sci-fi ranges. Now, Guy made one very important mistake in his video. He was trying to punch out the wooden pieces like you would, like a token sheet that you might get in a board game. And now you don't want to do that. So all of these wooden frames, they're laser cut, but then there's a couple of connection points on each piece where they purposefully don't cut through the wood all the way. So that makes sure that the pieces stay in the frames. And because this is 3mm thick MDF, and just the way MDF is made, it's layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of wood product. You don't want to try and punch these out. You'll end up breaking and snapping pieces just like Guy did in his video. Now, to avoid that, what you want to do is cut all of these pieces out of the frame. Now, in the time-lapse footage that I'm showing on screen, I'm using my new NeoBlade ultrasonic cutter. If you're interested, I'll put a link up in the cards of my review of this product. It makes cutting out all of these wood pieces very, very easy. Now, if you don't have or don't want to drop the money on an ultrasonic cutter, absolutely understandable. You can just use the humble hobby knife knife to go ahead and cut through these bits. I will say, having done that in the past, if you're building a lot of these, you're going to want to take breaks. You will fatigue yourself very, very quickly. It takes a lot of elbow grease. And the more tired that you get, the less careful you're going to be. And it is a razor blade. You don't want to cut yourself. But go ahead, cut out all of your bits, follow the instructions. And now what I do find is that with the way these are designed, a lot of the pieces end up locking together. So a lot of times you can build the entirety of a building without using glue, and then you can use glue at the end to go ahead and hold everything in place. All right, so here is one of my assembled small city streets that has some steps. So if you flip this over, you can kind of see these glossy bits where I've already applied some glue to lock everything in place. Now I'm using Aleene's original tacky glue. So it's very similar to a PVA. It's a little bit thicker, still dries clear, but it stays tacky while it's setting up. So that kind of helps everything hold in place while you're moving the pieces around and maybe doing some assembly. I just find this works a lot better than just standard PVA. Now, it also comes in a small pen applicator as well, which these are refillable. You can use these large containers to refill the pen. You just pop the cap off and squirt some in here, which can be useful for getting into tiny areas like down here in the steps. Now, it's also useful to have some rubber bands to hold everything while that glue is setting. And then also, it's useful to have a little plastic or small rubber mallet. So some of the tolerances for some of these holes are very tight. Now, if you were precise with your cuts, like I was using the ultrasonic cutter, you can use the mallet, and once you have everything kind of lined up, you can tap things into place. Now, if you weren't precise with your cuts, you will want to do some trimming on those areas, and having a metal file will go a long way to making sure that you don't destroy any of the wooden pieces. All right, so here is everything that I have built so far. So we've got all of our canal streets all assembled, and then we've also got our bridges. So the 3 different bridge packs that we did, and then we've also got our Chroma buildings. So there are 3 of those that I had as part of the build. And then they also come with some of these cool little scatter pieces. So there's a market stall there, some crates, and then, gotta find them, there's a little well that can sit next to a building. And then we've also got this sort of market stall or maybe some stables. And now I don't have a water mat down, but you can see how you create this wonderful maze of canals running through the streets that makes really good water hazards for a lot of skirmish fantasy games and even historical games. And then the game that this is actually meant for, Carnevale, actually has rules for entering the water, and there's like gondolas where you can move around the map super, super speedy. And now this table that I have everything laid out on is only like a 2.5 by 4 foot table. So things are a little cramped, but on a 4 by 4 table or a 6 by 4, you could spread this out and make some truly awesome, huge builds with these sets. And then also, I've still got plenty of things to build. So we've still got the construction scatter terrain. We've got 2 of these railing kits for the streets. And then I've still got plenty of MDF houses and ruins that I can build and add. All right, so that's where we are after phase 1 of the project. Make sure you stay tuned. Phase 2, we're going to handle all of the papercraft terrain that I showed you guys in the beginning of the video. And keep it locked in here, and I'll catch you in the next one.